why exactly were some of the, because I know, we both know, in late Little Big Planet 1, when Little Big Planet 2 was kind of in the works, there were certain pieces of logic like the anti-gravity tweaker, and a few others that were, I suppose, for Little Big Planet 2, but maybe you guys had considerations of adding them in Little Big Planet 1, maybe? Because there are older designs, like, for the visuals of those pieces of logic. So why did you guys not put them in Little Big Planet 1? Why were they saved for Little Big Planet 2?
So the way that Little Big Planet 2 happened, so originally the idea was that Little Big Planet 1 was it, so that was it. There wasn't an intention to make a second one. It was just going to continue as one, and then the all those kind of electronics which became very prominent in the second one were actually going to be a pack later down. So the idea was that you just have lots of DLC and that was it, sort of thing. And all those things you're talking about there were going to be in something called the arcade pack. So this is something which Mark was driving, and he was just sort of like, I just want to be able to control things directly. I think it was even called Direct Control at the time. So was it Controlinator? The Controlinator.
Yeah.
Was originally called Direct Control, and it was going to be in the arcade pack. And what happened is that we were developing that, and that was going to be like the major release, like one of the major DLC releases. And as we went along, we realized that, because it kind of grew very organically, all of this kit, because that's the thing, you sort of have an idea for what it's going to be, and then people just use it in a completely different way than you ever imagine it's going to be. And then over that time, we kind of developed all the gadgets which you needed. And I remember that distinctly, actually, there was a point when it was just a mess. And this is probably the versions you've seen. And they were kind of like, there was no uniform kind of visual language to the whole thing, because some of it had been started in LPP1 with a very particular thing, and then as time went on, there was just this stuff and it wasn't visually coherent. So I think I did a visual how do you just make it all the same family kind of thing, and so that's why. So all those original things then got updated to something which had a certain amount of consistency to it.
Right. What was it? What was it like designing the logic pieces?
It was. I think it was one of those things where it all happened out of necessity. So I don't think it was ever. I mean, there was just the obvious ones that you wanted. And I think like Mark was definitely the brains behind it. So things like having a controlinator, being able to control, set the gravity on things and all that kind of stuff. It kind of, he sort of did the first stab at that. And then there's kind of like, when people use it, then you sort of go, oh, okay, so it'd be good if you could do this or you could do that. So it was, it was remarkably smooth, actually. And and the turnaround was really fast. So it was, when it comes to having this kit, it was within a few days that we got that stuff to play with, and it was very responsive, and looking back at that, I'm really grateful for that. It was fantastic in terms of being a designer. You sort of have an idea and you can say, actually, I think we could do with this, and then it gets made, the art gets made for the thing, and it's in the game really soon.